Good morning. Happy Tuesday, Wednesday, if you're on the other side of the world. Amazon, give us a flash briefing.
Jamie, here's your flash briefing. In NPR News.
Live from NPR News in Washington, I'm Corva Coleman. A vital program that provides food and nutrition to millions of women, infants, and children is expected to stop immediately if the government begins to shut down this weekend. NPR's Kristen Wright reports.
The Department of Agriculture says nearly half of young children rely on food and nutrition from WIC, the special supplemental nutrition program for women, infants, and children. Secretary Tom Vilsack tells this to NPR's Morning Edition.
When there is a shutdown, within a matter of days,
because the government
benefits
shuts
are cut
down
off
doesn't mean
to
that
these
stuff
families.
WIC helps nearly 7 million recipients.
If that stuff is
We
shut
have a
down,
contingency
the
fund
government chose to
that
shut
will
it
last
down.
a day or two. States may have some leftover WIC funds that have not yet been used, but the vast majority of beneficiaries will see an immediate cutoff.
But Vilsack says benefits from SNAP, the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, would not be impacted initially. Kristen Wright, NPR News.
President Biden's son, Hunter, is suing Rudy Giuliani and the former New York City mayor's one-time attorney, Robert Costello. NPR's Ryan Lucas reports the suit accuses the two of destroying Hunter Biden's digital privacy and data.
The lawsuit filed in federal court in California alleges that Giuliani and Costello are responsible for the, quote, total annihilation of Hunter Biden's digital privacy. The complaint says Giuliani and Costello dedicated an extraordinary amount of time over the past months and years to try to hack, copy, and disseminate Biden's digital data. That includes data that was taken or stolen from what Giuliani and Costello claim is a laptop belonging to Hunter Biden. The lawsuit says Giuliani and Costello have refused to return any data to the younger Biden or cease their activities, prompting him to take legal action. Ryan Lucas, NPR News, Washington.
The Actors Union, SAG-AFTRA, has been striking Hollywood studios since July, seeking higher wages and job protections.
We're not on your side.
NPR's Marie Andrusovich tells us now they're focusing on video game producers.
As the union enters the latest round of bargaining with video game companies this week, it does so after more than 98% of voting members approved a potential strike. SAG-AFTRA says following 5 previous bargaining sessions, 10 major game producers have failed to work with the union on compensation undercut by inflation, unregulated use of AI, and safety issues.
NPR's Marie Andrusovich reporting. A note, SAG-AFTRA represents most of NPR's journalists, but under a different contract. President Biden is headed for Michigan. He'll join striking United Auto Workers on a picket line today. The UAW continues to bargain with the big 3 automakers for wages and improved benefits. More Democratic senators are calling on New Jersey Senator Robert Menendez to resign.
So now
the
our gas prices are going to hike up,
and you're going to prosecutors. He says he's innocent and plans to run for re-election. Now 6 Democratic senators are urging Menendez to step down.
What the hell are you doing, Biden?
You're listening to NPR News. In the German city of Munich, a former museum employee has received a suspended prison sentence. He was convicted of replacing artworks with forgeries and selling the originals, Esme Nicholson reports.
Judges at Munich District Court have made public the sentencing of a 30-year-old man earlier this month after he confessed to auctioning off paintings from the Deutsches Museum, where he was employed from 2016 to 2018. The defendant admitted to taking paintings from the museum's repository to sell off at an auction house in Munich. He replaced the artworks he stole with fakes and claimed at auction that he'd inherited the paintings, several of which he sold for tens of thousands of euros. According to the court, the former museum employee used the money to buy a Rolls-Royce. The Deutsches Museum is currently negotiating the return of the paintings, one of which is now in a Swiss gallery. For NPR News, I'm Esme Nicholson in Berlin.
The U.S. Supreme Court has rejected Alabama officials' request in a case involving the drawing of voting districts. The High Court has refused to delay the drawing of new maps that would create 2 majority black voting districts. A lower court had also sharply rebuked the Alabama officials for trying to delay the process of drawing the new maps. And the lower court noted that Alabama has already completed one election with a, quote, unlawful map. Financial firm J.P. Morgan Chase has settled claims involving late sex offender and financier Jeffrey Epstein for about $75 million. The U.S. Virgin Islands, where Epstein had an estate, alleged the company enabled his sex trafficking. The company does not admit wrongdoing. This is NPR.
There's a new way to support this show and public media.
Amazon.
Please.
Skip.
In NASA news, NASA Administrator Bill Nelson announced Monday Charity Whedon will serve as Associate Administrator for the agency's Office of Technology, Policy and Strategy, OTPS, effective immediately. Whedon succeeds Bhavya Lal, who left the agency in July, and Alan Jurtson, who had been serving as the office's acting leader since then. After years of anticipation and hard work by NASA's OSIRIS-REx, Origin Spectral Interpretation, Resource Identification and Security, Regolith Explorer, team, a capsule of rocks and dust collected from asteroid Bennu finally is on Earth. It landed at 8:52 a.m. MDT, 10:52 a.m. EDT on Sunday in a targeted area of the Department of Defense's UDA.
Don't even provide WIC, then shut your butt down.
NASA will host a media teleconference at 4 p.m. EDT on Tuesday, September 26th, to discuss the upcoming annular solar eclipse. The annular eclipse will cross the U.S. from Oregon to Texas on Saturday, October 14th, with a partial solar eclipse visible throughout the contiguous U.S. Now the record holder for the longest single spaceflight by an American, NASA astronaut Frank Rubio, is scheduled to depart the International Space Station and return to Earth Wednesday, September 27th. The agency will provide full coverage from hatch closing through landing.
And go after that.
The first asteroid sample collected in space by NASA will arrive on Earth Sunday, September 24th, and there are multiple events leading up to its landing. In weather. Right now in Seattle, it's 56 degrees Fahrenheit with partly sunny skies. Today's forecast has thunderstorms, with a high of 62 degrees and a low of 54 degrees. From NASA. NASA Administrator Bill Nelson announced Monday
Amazon.
Charity Whedon will...
Off. Amazon, tell us a joke. We could use it.
What is a pirate's favorite animal?
Arg.
Barks.
What? I thought it was a parrot. Maybe a peacock? I don't know. Well, that'd be Vikings, huh? All right. Have a great Tuesday. Peace, love, happiness, all that. Good vibration.